Welcome to my video on how to add decimals. We're also going to do subtracting decimals. So to do these add decimals, you have a problem like, I don't know, 56.8 plus 4.9. Let's go with that, sure. So key thing for decimals is that the place values need to be aligned with each other. To go on side by side, they are not. But we can rewrite this as 56.8 plus 4.9. Notice how I lined up the ones place with itself, I lined up the tenths place with itself, and I lined up the decimals with each other. That gets add normally. 8 plus 9 is 17. Carry the 1. 6 plus 4 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. 5 plus 1 is 6. That decimal just drops on down. Now, what if we had a situation in which there were some more complicated decimals? So like 64.8 plus 3.91, for instance. You would still line everything up. We would start with our first number, 64.8. Now to line up the second number, I want to look at the ones place. This 3 in the same place value as the 4, both in the ones place. So that 3 ends up being under the 4, decimals end up being under each other, then we have a 9, 1. Notice this creates a little bit of an imbalance on our place values. Some people like to put in a little 0 here just to make sure the place values are all lined up. It's also a good strategy for subtraction. 1 plus 0 is 1. 8 plus 9 is 17. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And then the 6 plus nothing is still 6, so 68.71. So that is adding decimals. Not too crazy, not too deep. Let's talk about subtracting decimals. So let's go with 59.7 minus 4. Start off real simple. Okay. Again, we take that number, 59.7. We have to line up the ones place. This 4 is in the same place value as the 9, so they line up. Looks a little funky. Most people like to add decimal zeros to make sure everything is in perfect line with itself. Now 7 minus 0 is 7. 9 minus 4 is 5. 55.7. Not all too crazy. Same thing goes if we have larger ones, like 103.4 minus 17.89. Again, I'll take my first one, 103.4, minus, again, look at that ones place. This 7 lines up with this 3. Notice, again, there is an imbalance of place values. So a lot of people do like to put a little placeholder 0 here to show that 4 tenths is the same thing as saying 40 hundredths, and then we can talk about place values with each other. Now 0 minus 9 can't be done without going negative. So we're going to go over to our 4, borrow, make it 3, and then add 10 to 0 to make 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. Not enough to go from 3 to 8. Gotta go next door to the 2. Makes 3 into 13 when I add 10 to it. It's 13 tenths minus 8 tenths is 5 tenths. 2 minus 7, again, can't be done. Ooh, 0 also doesn't have enough. Space this out just a little better for you so you can see. So I'll go all the way over to the 1. I'll borrow 100 over here, make 0 hundreds. This makes 10 tens. Borrow from that, make it 9 tens, and regroup the 2 as 12 ones. 12 ones minus 7 ones will be 5 ones. 9 tens minus 1 10 is going to be 8 tens. 85.51. I made that as intentionally hard as I could so you can get the most crazy example of that. Thanks.